So in this video, I want to tackle the topic about being burnt out, and I want to just come right out and say that honestly, that's basically how I'm feeling right now. I think I'm burnt out. I don't necessarily like to use the word burnt out, but I definitely want to because it has sort of like a stigma attached to it, and I'm totally cool with the word, just to be clear. But what I'd like to say is like I'm mentally tapped out right now. I'm not necessarily burnt out to the point where I'm just completely out of whack. But I'm definitely mentally at capacity, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But the reason why I wanted to bring this topic up is because if you know any single thing about this channel and what I'm focused on is productivity. That's the theme for this channel is productivity. But it's productivity in meetings, it's productivity in trying to find more efficiency in your day to day, it's productivity in trying to just be more efficient in your internal life, even in your office space, which is a complete mess, by the way. It's gone back to being a messy place again. I'm working on it again. So the reason why I'm bringing this topic up is because honestly, in the last, I definitely say in the last month, my energy level has just been just slowly shifting downwards, and a part of it was the fact that I was sick earlier, and but now that I'm kind of more or less gotten over my cold. I just have sort of like a scratchy throat, I guess. Um, my productivity level has not sort of reverted to where it was before, and I'm struggling with that. I genuinely am struggling with that. And but I've been here before. I've been here before many times. I'm an entrepreneur. I've gone through these highs and these lows. I'm sure for you, if you are a person that's sort of driven and focused by sort of like hitting certain marks in your own personal life, you at one point you would have been either mentally exhausted or tapped out. So hopefully you could relate to this conversation. But for me, I've gone through those journeys before, so I've gotten to a place where I've done I've experienced about 3 or 4 burnout, like real burnout, where it's just absolutely nothing is getting done. I'm aware of all the stuff that has to be done. I can see that I'm not being productive. People around me are basically screaming at me to get things done, and it's like mentally don't care. I've been there, and it's a really really hard place to be, and I've done that probably about I'd say about 3 or 4 solid times in my life. But what I'd like to believe is I'm at a place in my life where I kind of recognize it. I recognize the symptoms. I can see the patterns. Energy level starts to go down. Know what you have to do, but just not getting it done. Right? Doing a lot of thinking and planning, but not actually getting any work done. Right? There's a lot of sort of symptoms that I've kind of recognized about myself with it, and so the challenge is the challenge now is trying to obviously get over that, but that's what I want to try to talk about, and I'm kind of rambling in this video, but I just want to be clear that this is a real thing that I'm going through. This is not some tutorial type video that I'm giving you guys here. Um so first of all, one of the reasons why, actually, let me back up a little bit. So the state that I'm in right now is I've recognized my productivity state. It's very clear that I'm going through some mental sort of decline. Um, but the what I've been struggling with is trying to identify sort of like the reasoning why. And this is I'm going to call this a different burnout for me, because I've gotten good at recognizing when my energy level is low and when my productivity is low and when I don't feel motivated on what to do to kind of help to keep being motivated. But I've been going at it fairly hard for like the past year for sure. Just running, you know, multiple projects and just trying to keep sort of like teams and processes going. And frankly, like it's just hard, right? It's just hard. It's hard keeping people motivated. It turns out that it takes a lot of self um, awareness, energy, motivation, and drive in order to push other people, right? Like whatever you're getting out of other people, you like for you to be the driving force behind that. It's almost like a piston, right? Like a in a car. If you're familiar with right cars, you know, the ignition sends a huge force which drives the piston that then drives a wheel, right? So that force has to be like really, really strong in order to push the wheel of the car. And so being a leader, you're kind of you're the not the piston, but maybe you're the maybe you're the piston. Sure, we'll see. We'll go for that for simplicity purposes. Um, and frankly, like it's like I don't want to say my piston is broken, but it's definitely it needs greasing. So anyway, by the way, yeah, I just realized what I said, and I might just taken the wrong way. But anyway, we'll push on and ignore the stupid comments. Hopefully, um, yeah. So I'm burnt out. So the question is, what do I do about it? And this is not a video about hey, I have a bunch of solutions for this. But what I can say is a couple things on this topic. One is if you are burnt out, which I am right now, is that you need to recognize the reality. Okay, you need to own it. Okay, you can't. You have to own the fact that you're burnt out because being in denial that you're burnt out and trying to keep pushing through is just going to get you to a worse state, and that's just a really it's a problem. Okay, um, and frankly, you just need to not push yourself. Just call it what it is. I'm burnt out. Gonna take a step back. Now, answer emails. Try to do as the minimum that you can, just to kind of keep it, but don't push yourself. Okay. Um, Start doing the opposite of what you think you should be doing. So, for example, I mean, I'm up at 2, 3 a.m. almost every day. I know it's weird. Don't ask. And like I got all these thoughts that are kind of flying through my head, none of which I'm actually normally this is my most productivity hour, and it has not been my most productivity hour. I've been on YouTube, I'm watching YouTube videos, I'm trying to learn stuff, I'm trying to do stuff, I'm listening to podcasts, but I'm not productive. Going to the gym as an example, I've been cutting out gym out of my life, and frankly, that is not a good thing because when you're in a burnt out state, it's actually the thing that you want to do. You want to get exercise. You want to get your blood flowing. You want to do the quote unquote non-productive things to kind of get back to productivity state. It's sort of like the counter of whatever you're thinking that it is. It's definitely not trying to go harder because you have a whole bunch of stuff to get done. You're just gonna have to own the fact that listen, we're just not gonna get this done right now. Now, if you're under deadline pressure and stuff, like those are very different thing for your boss or for whoever. There's some there's some realities to this, right? You can't just take off and just not get stuff done. But the point is, as much as you can, don't push yourself and just sort of own it, right? And this whole notion about you've heard this term, try to get back on the horse, right? You fall off, you get back on the horse. Like it only goes so far. It only goes so far. So um, my advice is just take a break. Just take a break because your body is like being burnt out means that your body is telling you that like, hey man, you need a break. So you're gonna have to find ways to take in that break. Now, lucky for me, I say lucky, but I don't know how lucky I am. But I'm I'm hoping that I'm going to be lucky. Is I'm actually going on vacation. So part of it, honestly, is like my brain is just it's like it's turned off. It's like I just need a little bit of break, so I'm going on vacation. So it's like a week before, and I just like I it's like it's almost like switching to vacation mood. If it makes any sense. I'm sure people have related to that. So anyway, the next couple of videos, I'm going to try to talk a little bit more about just trying to stay focused and coming up with new ways. In fact, while I'm on vacation, one of my promises to myself is to kind of rethink some of the things that I've been doing from a productivity standpoint just got too many tentacles in too many different places, too many meetings, too many stuff. And I've used AI tools and I've used these, like all these type of stuff to try and, pull my life together. But at the end of the day, like my mental capacity and my ability to stay focused and focus on the thing that matters is what's most important. And if I can't do that, then I can't give to other people. I can't be motivated to drive other individuals, and I can't even be motivated to drive myself. um yeah, so that's all I gotta say about this topic, right? There's no silver bullet here, guys. There's no silver bullet, and I just want to be real about that. Like, it is a mental struggle. um Now, I'm not gonna toot myself on the horn here, but because I've been through this so many times before, or at least multiple times, I I kind of understand the flow, and just recognize the fact that I'm going through this phase. It will pass. Here are the parameters, right? So it's also the reason why I can actually have an honest conversation with myself about this topic, and just be real about the fact that I'm burnt out, and I know it'll pass. So for you out there, hopefully somebody out there that sees this video and hears my voice, just hang in there. But don't fool yourself about it. This is a real thing. It's a real stress factor. It's a hard mental sort of state to recognize you're burnt out, and you just gotta own it. So with that, I wish you the best of luck on your journey. Don't give up. That's all I'll say. Thank you.